Okay, so here's your last lesson on fractions for a while. You've reached nearly the end of the unit, and we're going to teach you how to divide fractions with the CFIA. Okay, once again, you are being warned. You are about to view classified information. Only members of the CFIA have clearance to view these files. You, of course, are a member of the Central Fraction Intelligence Agency. And you now have a level 4 clearance, which means that you can compare fractions with different denominators. You can add and subtract both fractions and mixed numbers with like and unlike denominators. And you can multiply fractions. The final mission is mission 5, and you must learn how to divide fractions and mixed numbers. Hopefully you've loaded your notes, and you can write your notes as I go through this. I'll also fill them out at the end, so don't worry. Okay? The first piece of classified information is that all mixed numbers must be changed into improper fractions. Use MAD. So for example, if we have 3 3/4 divided by 2 2/3, our first step is we must change these two mixed numbers into improper fractions. We must use MAD to do that. Hopefully you have not forgotten that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw my MAD faces and do that. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 3 is 15 over 4, and this one would be 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8, so we get 8/3. So we now have 15/4 divided by 8/3. That's a good problem for us to solve. Okay, so that's classified information piece number 1. Piece number 2 is all whole numbers must be also always written as improper fractions. That just simply means that you need to put a 1 on the bottom if there is a whole number. Change the division problem into a multiplication problem. Hopefully you learned a little bit from the investigation. You started to see the relationship between division and multiplication. So what we're really doing when we're dividing fractions is we are actually going to multiply by the reciprocal. So we flip the second fraction, never the first, to its reciprocal and change the division sign to a multiplication sign. So for example, the problem that we just set up was, let's see, it was 3 3/4, I believe, divided by 2 2/3, right? And we ended up with 15 over 4 divided by 8 over 3. Okay, so our second step now is to flip the second fraction, never ever the first. So let's do that. Let me just point to the second fraction here. Our second fraction is this guy. Okay, not the first one. Okay, we do not flip the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and write that. Okay, so we write 15 over 4 times, because we changed that, 3 over 8. That's our new problem. Classified information number 4 is cross-simplify when you can. So here's our problem now. We have 15 over 4 times 3 over 8. We actually cannot cross-simplify this time because it does not work. So we end up just multiplying straight across. Okay, classified information number 5 is multiply straight across. So we have 15 over 4 times 3 over 8, and that equals 45 over 32. Last piece of information is to simplify. So we have 45 over 32. That's an improper fraction, so we need to divide. So let's do that. We have 45 divided by 32. 32 goes into 45 one time. We subtract. We get 13 left over, so our final answer is 1 13 32s. So the original problem was 3 3/4 divided by 2 2/3. All I'm really asking there is how many 2 2/3 are there in 3 3/4? We're asking, like, how many groups of 2 2/3 would you find in 3 3/4? Remember the paper plate example? So we would find 1 and 1332 groups of 2 2/3. That's what that really means. Just so you understand it. This is the time it's a little bit confusing because normally when you divide numbers, you divide a big number by another number and it gets smaller. It doesn't always work that way with fractions. Okay. I want to do another example here with a whole number because I didn't have a whole number. Let's do kind of like what we did with the plates. Let's do the whole number 9 divided by 2/3. Okay, so we want to know how many groups, how many 2/3 are there in 9? Okay, so let's see. We take our 9 and put it over 1. We change the division sign to multiplication, and we flip our second fraction. So this becomes 3/2. Okay, notice the flip. Okay, then we multiply straight across if we can't cross simplify, and we can't. If we get 27/2. We have to change that into an improper fraction, or mixed number, I'm sorry. 27, let's see, I better erase that and make myself some more room. We'll go to another page. Let me add another page. 27 divided by 2. Let's make it into a mixed number. 2 goes into 2 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. We subtract. We bring down the 7. 2 goes into 7 3 times. 3 times 2 is 6. We subtract. We get 1 left over. So 13.5 is our final answer. So 9 divided by 2/3. That means how many groups of 2/3 are there in 9? There would be 13.5 groups. And that does make sense. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and fill out your note sheets. Okay, so let's go. Oh no, looks like this message is about to self-destruct. I hope you've written things down. I hope you remember what I've said, because we could have trouble if you don't. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh no! I hope as a member of the CFIA that you have written things down, because what if I don't have any information left for you? But luckily for you, I have saved one last document, and I will still fill it out with you. Okay, so even if you didn't get everything written down yet, we'll go through it now. Okay, classified information piece number 1. Okay, the first thing that we have to do, okay, is change our mixed numbers into improper fractions. So let's go ahead and type that, okay? Hopefully this will work this time. I'm really hoping. Okay, let's see if it does. Oh, there we go. Change improper fractions to mixed numbers. Okay, let me stretch that out just a little bit. Okay, I'm hoping this is not going to be messed up this time. Okay, change improper fractions to mixed number. Let's do a little example here. Let's do, if we have, oh, I'm sorry. I wrote this backwards, didn't I? You guys didn't catch that. What's wrong? Let's try that again. Let me fix it. Okay, hopefully I can edit that. Oh, there we go. Changed mixed numbers to improper fractions. That's what we need to do. Okay, there we go. All right, that makes more sense. Okay, so if we have, okay, 4, oops, okay, 4 1/2 divided by, let's find out how many halves there are in 4 1/2. So we have 4 1/2 divided by half. Okay, oops, make that a little bigger. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is change that. So let's go ahead and do that. It would become 9/2 divided by 1/2. Okay, classified information piece number 2 is to change. Well, I guess I could type again since I was typing before. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, change whole numbers to improper fractions. Okay, let's bring that down here. Okay, so if I had a whole number, let's actually, you know what, I want to change something just so we can use both examples in the same problem. Let's go here, and I'm going to just erase this part. Oh, maybe it won't let me erase it. I guess I'll just do it down here. Okay, change whole numbers to improper fractions. So if we had any whole numbers, like 4, it would equal 4/1. I think we were pretty good with that. But our new problem is going to be 9/2 divided by. So let's go to classified information piece number 3. I'm going to write the problem up here. 9/2 divided by 1/2. We want to know how many halves there are in 4 1/2. So classified information piece number 3 is that we need to change the division sign to multiplication and flip the second, I'm going to make that big, the second fraction to its reciprocal. Okay, so let's do that here. Okay, so we have 9/2. Our new problem becomes 9/2 times, because we're going to change that, and we're going to flip 2/1. Classified information piece number 4 says that we are going to cross simplify if we can. Let's see if we can. We have 9/2 times 2/1. Yes, we can cross simplify a little bit. Let's cross out the 2's. They can both be divided by 2 one time. Okay, so now we have a new problem, and let's go ahead and solve that. 9/1 is our new problem. 9/1 times 1/1, because we cross simplified. And let's go ahead, and the next step is to multiply straight across. Okay, if we do that, we end up with 9/1. That's our final answer. Okay, let's go down here, and our last piece of information is to simplify, and change improper fractions back to mixed numbers. Okay, that's awesome. So in this case, we're left with 9/1 as our final answer. We just will change that to 9, okay? So let's see if that makes sense, if that answer makes sense. The other thing I should have had you do is do a little estimate before you started on this, but our problem was 4 1/2 divided by half. Okay, so we're trying to see how many halves there are in 4 1/2. That would be like if I had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I have these pizzas, and they're all cut in half. Okay, if I had, 4 1/2, so I'm coloring in 4 whole pizzas. Okay, I'm coloring in 4 whole pizzas and half of another one. That's how much pizza I have. I want to know how many halves do I have in each of these pizzas. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that is definitely true. Okay, that's how many we had. Good job. All right, let me go ahead and do just a couple of examples for you, just to make sure that we're really good with this. Let's just do let me add another page. Okay, let's do 3/4 divided by 1/2. Okay, first thing we're going to do, we don't have any mixed numbers, so we don't have to change anything. So we're going to flip our division sign to multiplication, flip our second fraction to its reciprocal, cross simplify if we can, multiply straight across, we get 3/2. So if I ask, and then our last step is to make that into a mixed number, which is 1/2. So there are 1 1/2 halves in 3/4. Okay, let's do another one. Let's do 2/3 divided by a mixed number this time. Let's do that, divided by 3 1/3. First step is to change that mixed number into an improper fraction. It's going to be 10/3. So we have 2/3 divided by 10/3. We need to change the division sign to multiplication, flip the second fraction, cross simplify if we can. We can cross simplify both on this one, then multiply straight across, and we get 1/5. So we're asking how many groups of 3 1/3 are there in 2/3? That's going to be a really small amount, because if we have 2/3 of a pizza and we want to ask how many whole 3 1/3 there aren't going to be very many. It's less than 1/5. All right, I think you're doing really good. I think the only other thing I want to show you is maybe one more. We'll just do a whole number. Let's just do 5 divided by 1 1/3. How many 1 1/3 are there in 5 whole? Change 5 to 5/1. Change 1 1/3 to an improper fraction, which is 4/3. Change your division sign into multiplication. Flip your second fraction. Cross simplify if you can, but we can't. 5 times 3 is 15/4. Change it into a mixed number. 4 goes into 15 3 times with 3 left over. 3 3/4 is our final answer. All right, I hope you feel pretty confident with division. It's actually pretty easy, because really it ends up just being multiplication, which you already learned. So this should be pretty easy stuff. All right, do a great job on your work. Bye for now.